The Morrison family dinner at my sister Catherine's mansion was as pretentious as ever. I parked my modest Tesla Model 3, deliberately chosen over my Bentley collection, between her Rolls-Royce and our brother Michael's Ferrari, already anticipating their usual comments. I adjusted my simple black turtleneck, a custom Tom Ford that they'd mistake for retail, and checked my phone. The screen displayed an urgent message from my CFO. 3 more Morrison family businesses had just triggered our default protocols. Look who finally left her little office, Catherine's voice carried across the circular driveway. Still playing with that investment firm, Grace? If they only knew that my little investment firm, Phoenix Capital, secretly controlled most of their company's debt through a complex web of subsidiaries and shell corporations. Someone has to manage the family's investments, I replied quietly, clutching my worn leather portfolio containing more net worth in documents than their combined assets. Manage? Michael laughed, sipping his 20-year-old scotch from my private collection, though he didn't know that. Your tiny firm probably handles what our companies spend on office supplies. I suppressed a smile, thinking of the documents waiting in my portfolio. Phoenix Capital had spent years quietly acquiring their corporate debt, watching as they leveraged themselves to maintain their illusion of success. How's the expansion going? I asked Michael, knowing exactly how it was going. My analyst had flagged his company's aggressive growth strategy as unsustainable months ago. Brilliantly, he boasted, straightening his Hermes tie. Morrison Technologies is about to announce our biggest acquisition yet. An acquisition that would never happen, since Phoenix Capital had already purchased the target company through one of our subsidiaries. And my new luxury development, Catherine added, gesturing to the architectural plans spread across her marble dining table. Breaking ground next month. It's going to revolutionize the city's skyline. I nodded, not mentioning that her construction loans were all underwater and my firm held the notes. Grace could have had all this, our mother sighed, examining my simple outfit. If only she'd joined the family businesses instead of playing with her little investment projects. My phone buzzed again. Morrison Technologies bonds downgraded. Morrison Development facing margin calls. Awaiting your instructions for default proceedings. Actually, I set down my wine glass. I should head back to the office. Some important client meetings tomorrow. Important? Catherine smirked. What's important in your world? $1 million portfolio. If she only knew that Phoenix Capital managed over $200 billion in assets. That while they mocked my small firm, I'd built one of the most powerful investment companies in the country. Someone has to handle the details, I replied, gathering my things. That's Grace, Michael told his wife loudly. Always thinking small. While we're building empires, she's probably still analyzing spreadsheets in her tiny office. My tiny office occupied the top 3 floors of the city's most prestigious building. The same building where, tomorrow morning, their empires would begin to crumble. Don't forget the family brunch next weekend, Mother called after me. Catherine's celebrating her new development project. I smiled as I walked to my car. There wouldn't be a celebration next weekend. By then, they'd all know exactly what kind of empire their small-thinking sister had built. My phone lit up with another message from my CFO. All preparations complete for tomorrow. The Morrison family won't know what hit them. Perfect, I typed back. Time to show them what playing entrepreneur really looks like. The morning sun hadn't cleared the Manhattan skyline when my office phone started ringing. Every major financial news outlet was reporting the same story. Morrison family businesses were collapsing simultaneously across multiple sectors. Ms. Morrison, my assistant Jane appeared at my door. Your family has been trying to reach you. Your sister has called 23 times in the last hour. Your brother is in the lobby, demanding to see Phoenix Capital's CEO. I smiled, watching their company's stock prices plummet on the wall of screens before me. Morrison Technologies down 45%. Morrison Development facing margin calls. Their carefully constructed empires crumbling in real time. Has the board been notified? I asked, straightening my now obviously expensive suit. Yes. They're assembled in the main conference room. And... Jane hesitated. Your mother sent a text. She wants to know if you have any business connections who might help. I stood up, looking out over the city from my corner office. Time to show them what kind of connections I really have. The messages kept flooding in. Catherine, Grace, emergency. Need financial help now. Your investment experience might be useful for once. Michael, whatever contacts you have, we need them. Family crisis. Call immediately. Mother, darling, remember that investment firm you work at? Do they handle corporate restructuring? I set my phone aside, watching news vans gather outside Morrison Technologies headquarters. Their empires were falling, and they had no idea that their salvation, or destruction, rested entirely in their small-thinking sister's hands. The board is ready, Jane announced. And your brother is becoming insistent. Let's not keep them waiting then. The elevator ride to the conference room gave me time to reflect on years of dismissal, of snide comments about my little investment firm, of being the family disappointment. The board members rose as I entered, titans of finance who'd backed Phoenix Capital from the start, who'd seen what my family couldn't. The Morrison situation is proceeding as expected, our CFO reported. Their debt obligations have triggered across all subsidiaries. They're completely exposed. And the takeover options? I asked, though I already knew the answer. Ready to present. They'll have no choice but to accept our terms. My phone buzzed again. Catherine had sent a video message, her perfect composure finally cracking. Grace, please. If you know anyone at Phoenix Capital, we need help. Michael's not handling this well. Ms. Morrison, Jane interrupted. Your entire family just arrived in the lobby. They're demanding to meet with Phoenix's CEO. I gathered the takeover documents, thinking of all the family dinners where they'd mocked my career choices. Send them up. It's time for a family reunion. The Morrison family delegation burst into the conference room minutes later, led by Michael. He stopped short when he saw me, confusion crossing his face. Grace? What are you doing here? We need to meet with Phoenix Capital's leadership. This is no time for your small-time investment advice. Actually, Michael, I gestured to the chair at the opposite end of the table. That's exactly why I'm here. What are you talking about? Catherine stepped forward, her designer outfit wrinkled from stress. We need to speak with the CEO. They're supposed to be some financial genius. She trailed off as she noticed the respect with which Phoenix's board members regarded me. The way they waited for my signal before speaking. The financial genius, I said softly. Did you never wonder who built the firm that now holds all your corporate debt? The color drained from Michael's face as realization began to dawn. No, it's impossible. The silence in Phoenix Capital's conference room was deafening as I laid out the brutal reality of the Morrison family's financial situation. Every screen showed a different aspect of their collapsing empires. Stocks in free fall, creditors calling loans, and their reputations crumbling in real time. Let me explain this in terms you might understand. I began, clicking through the detailed presentation. Phoenix Capital now controls approximately 78% of your combined corporate debt. Every loan, every bond, every leveraged position. It all answers to me. But, your little investment firm. Catherine's voice trembled. My little firm manages over $200 billion in assets, I corrected her. While you were all busy mocking my career choices, I built one of the largest private investment companies in the world. Those important people you were always trying to network with, most of them work for me. Michael stood up abruptly, his expensive suit wrinkled from stress. This is some kind of trick. You can't possibly. Can't possibly what, Michael? I interrupted, nodding to Jane, who distributed thick folders to everyone present. Can't possibly have spent years analyzing your reckless expansion strategies? Can't possibly have recognized the fatal flaws in Catherine's development projects? Or can't possibly have built something bigger than all your companies combined? The screens shifted to display Phoenix Capital's true portfolio. Hundreds of companies, billions in assets, and a web of financial influence that stretched across the globe. Your acquisition plans, Michael? The ones you bragged about at dinner? They failed because I bought the target company first. Catherine's luxury development? Those construction loans you can't refinance? I own them all. Our mother, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you what? I laughed softly. That while you were calling my work small and unimportant, I was building an empire. Would you have believed me? Or would you have tried to take control of this company too, like you did with Dad's business after he died? The room fell silent at the mention of our father. They all remembered how they'd pushed me out of the family business, claiming I thought too small to help run it. Your companies are now facing combined debt calls of $4.2 billion, I continued, pulling up the financial details. Money you don't have despite all your shows of success. Phoenix Capital is prepared to offer you a restructuring option. What's the catch? Michael asked bitterly. Complete financial transparency, independent auditors, and new management for all Morrison family businesses. I distributed another set of documents. You'll all step down from your executive positions effective immediately. You're destroying us, Catherine whispered, tears streaking her perfect makeup. No, you destroyed yourselves, I corrected her. With your over-leveraged expansions, your vanity projects, and your desperate attempts to maintain the appearance of success. I'm simply calling in the debts. My phone buzzed with breaking news alerts. Phoenix Capital reveals CEO identity in Morrison family showdown. Investment mogul Grace Morrison controls family's business empire. From mocked to mogul, the rise of Grace Morrison. The press is waiting in the lobby, Jane informed me. They're particularly interested in how you built Phoenix Capital while your family underestimated you. Let them wait, I replied, turning back to my family. We have some unfinished business here. I walked to the window, looking out over the city where my real empire stretched far beyond their imaginations. You have 2 hours to sign the restructuring agreements. After that, we call the loans and initiate bankruptcy proceedings. You can't do this to family, Mother pleaded. Family. I turned back to face them. Like when you told everyone I was playing at business. Or when Michael spread rumors that my firm was struggling to discourage investors. Or perhaps like Catherine mocking my tiny office while borrowing millions she couldn't repay. The screens displayed a new set of figures. The total amount they'd borrowed, leveraged, and risked trying to maintain their illusions of success. Consider this a hostile takeover, I announced. One you never saw coming because you were too busy laughing at my ambitions to notice I was surpassing yours. By evening, I stood alone in my office watching the city lights come alive. The restructuring documents were signed. Their empires were mine. The press was having a field day with the story of the underestimated sister who now controlled her family's fate. Your family has left the building, Jane reported. Though your mother left this. She handed me an old photo of me at my first office opening, small and hopeful, while my family stood in the background looking unimpressed. Frame it, I decided. Put it next to our latest financial statements. A reminder that success doesn't need their approval. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing with messages from family members. Some angry, some pleading, all too late. One from Catherine caught my eye. I understand now. Why you let us underestimate you. You were building something extraordinary while we were just pretending to be extraordinary.